If you're watching this video, chances are you're dealing with that frustration of trying to lose that stubborn belly fat. Trust me, you're not alone. It feels like no matter what you do, results just aren't showing up. But guess what? It's not your fault. In this video, I'm going to show you how to lose that menopause belly fat, keep it off, and stay lean. I'll also share practical tips that you can easily implement into your routine. These tips will not only support your hormonal balance, increase your metabolism, but keep your cortisol at bay. It's not about a lack of effort or discipline. It's about something much deeper, hormones. At about the age of 35 or older, specific hormones, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, it can even feel like they start to play tricks on us as our ovaries start to produce less of those, making the battle against belly fat even more challenging. If this is something you're struggling with, go on and book a call with me. You can find the link in the description below. As these hormones decline, a sneaky player enters the scene, known as cortisol. You might have heard of cortisol. Cortisol is also known as the stress hormone, and it can wreak havoc on your metabolism. And why? As cortisol levels increase in this period of time, it can lead to insulin resistance. And when we have an increase in insulin resistance, this not only can create physical, but emotional stress. This means we can feel more reactive to stress now that we have higher levels of cortisol, higher levels of insulin resistance. And what this leads to is more unwanted belly fat, and then water retention. What we want to understand is anytime our cortisol levels are triggered to be increased, just a thought alone can increase your cortisol levels, can cause water retention, and that unwanted belly fat. Something to really understand is that belly fat is hormonal fat. This is why just diet and just exercise alone will not work. So it's very important to understand as we have this array or this chaos of hormones going on, that we're understanding what's happening around and why we can't just get into that belly fat without understanding the hormonal shifts behind it. I want you to think of insulin as the gatekeeper to your blood sugar, to keep your blood sugar regulated. And when cortisol disrupts it, it seems like weight loss and tapping into that belly fat can be an uphill battle. This cycle of hormonal changes leads to increased cortisol, insulin resistance, inflammation, and stubborn belly fat. But don't worry, I've got some good news for you. So how do you break this cycle? Stick around because I've got some tips that are going to be game-changing for you to be able to lose that menopause belly fat without restrictive dieting. Before we dive in, if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring notification bell so that you never miss empowering videos each week. First things first, let's talk about lifestyle changes. Yes, you can still enjoy your favorite foods without going on a restrictive diet. Let's dive into how to stop gaining belly fat right now. And that starts with keeping your blood sugar stable consistently throughout the day. The best way to do this is to consume lean protein in whole grain plant-based foods. Protein is one of the main macronutrients that not only helps make up most of the body's hormones, especially insulin and a lot of other hormones, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, and so many more. When consumed in the right amount and the right type of proteins, help lower our blood sugar levels. Let's talk about how to find out the right amount of protein for you. So if you're a woman in menopause and you're having trouble with that menopause belly fat, which I know is why you're watching this video, you want to start tracking your foods. This is not a forever thing. So you want to get maybe a food tracking app. I would recommend MyFitnessPal. There's a link down below. Just start tracking your foods for 2 or 3 days so you can get an idea of how much protein that you're consuming. This is very important. One of the common mistakes I see women make is they get this number from online and they have no idea how much protein they're consuming. So when they start actually tracking their protein, they find out that they're only consuming 30 grams a day. So when they get this number of 140, they throw their hands up and think there's no way in the world I can do that. So let's start an easy way so that you can progress slowly. So you want to start tracking your foods, and you can use a scan bar or the search bar in MyFitnessPal. So you start tracking again for just 2 to 3 days. You're going to probably come up with 30 to 40 grams of protein, which is where most women are. This is why we have a lot of belly fat. We're not consuming the right type of nutrients to help produce our body's hormones. Once you've got that number, then say it's 40 grams. What you're going to do is you're going to look for your ideal body weight. So it doesn't matter what you weigh right now. So say your ideal body weight is 135. You're going to put 135 in a calculator, and starting off, we're going to give you a low end, and we're going to multiply it times 1.33. It's still going to seem like a high number to you. So you're going to get that number, whatever that number is. You're going to go back and get, say, your 40 grams of protein, and you're going to increase it anywhere from 10 to 20 grams a week, and see how you feel. Now, this is not junk food protein. This is not beef jerky and Quest bars and things like this. This is high quality protein. We're looking at protein that actually have functionality to help your bodies produce hormones. We're looking at egg whites. We're looking at eggs. We're looking at seafood, tilapia, mahi-mahi, shrimp, scallops, pork, chicken, tuna fish, things like that. And if you have to, you can use a high quality protein shake, but you want to make sure we're not using low quality protein shakes that you generally find at the grocery store or places like Costco or Amazon. And if you want a suggestion, you can find the link down in the description below. Incorporating plant-based complex carbohydrates such as oats, brown rice, whole grains, and even nuts are very beneficial. Many of these carbohydrates have what they call phytonutrients, and those not only decrease the inflammation within our body, especially during menopause, but also aid in good gut health. Eating the right type of carbohydrates at the right time of day actually helps keep insulin levels lower by keeping the blood sugar levels stable throughout the day, and also increase serotonin levels so that we naturally feel good. We need the right type of carbohydrates to help the brain be able to regulate serotonin. Serotonin not only helps boost mood, but it helps regulate blood glucose and helps insulin work as it should. Low carb diets can worsen menopause symptoms, including menopause belly fat. The main takeaway I want you to get from this video is that you need the right type of carbohydrates along with lean proteins and high quality fats to balance your hormones, increase your metabolism, and to be able to tap into that hormonal belly fat. Secondly, let's talk about how to keep the belly fat off. To keep the belly fat off, it's crucial to keep our blood sugar stable throughout the day. Not only through nutrition, but also lifestyle factors to be able to keep cortisol at bay. The two most crucial parts of lifestyle factors that easily affect cortisol the most are sleep, which is going to be number one. So having poor quality sleep, despite everything that you do, whether you cross your T's and dot your I's for nutrition, do not make a difference if you're not getting high quality sleep. Really good quality sleep where you're going through the 4 stages of sleep, where your body and your brain can remove the toxins and reproduce the hormones that we're losing. The next thing that we're talking about is stress. Remember that thought alone, even self-sabotaging thoughts such as I'm fat, I can't stand the way I look, I can't believe I'm here again, I can't believe this is going on. This is so frustrating. These are common things that I hear ladies tell me, that they're overwhelmed. They can't stand it. I'm super fat. I'm grossed out. I can't stand my body. All of these thoughts create self-sabotaging behaviors, and that roller coaster increases cortisol. And as long as we've got the high levels of cortisol, remember, we're creating more instability with our blood sugars and raising our insulin resistance. And then we're even hijacking and increasing our cortisol even more. It's common for women to want to try to over-exercise in terms of time or intensity, but what we have to understand is that only drives cortisol levels up. And as long as we've got cortisol levels going up, we're going to create more hormonal belly fat. This is the struggle with menopause belly fat, is the things that used to work no longer work, such as over-exercising, long lengths of cardio, that hour of cardio, that no longer should be happening. Restricting those calories. Restricting calories only creates a deficiency in nutrients that actually help your body produce the hormone. So if we're doing calorie restrictions, then what we have to think about is removing those 500 calories or those 300 calories. We're removing some of those calories or protein, some of those are carbs, and some of those are fats. And as we talked about earlier in the video, we need all three of those specific nutrients to be able to produce the right hormones. So we have to be incorporating the right types of nutrition to help the body produce the hormones that we need to be able to tap in and get rid of that menopause belly fat. It's important to incorporate light or lower intensity cardiovascular activity or exercise if you're going to do it, or short periods of high intensity interval training, also known as HIIT. This will help lower our cortisol levels. So instead of doing that hour jog, you could do something like 2 10-minute walks. That will break up the time and will also lower the intensity. So we're not going for an all-out jog. We're actually just lowering the intensity of our exercising, and really increasing our strength training will really be key in order to tapping into that belly fat, along with the right type of nutrition, including protein, fats, and carb. I want to know, have you noticed a change in your body composition now here in menopause? Beyond belly fat, I'd love to hear, drop down in the comments, describe what your body looks like now versus what your body looked like in its 20s to 30s. Do you notice a shift in fat from your hips to your belly, from your thigh, or from your rear end? Where do you notice the fat distribution is actually different for you now? I'd love to hear, drop down in the comments. If this is something you struggle with, go in and book a call with me. You can find the link in the description below. By incorporating these strategies into your daily routine, you'll be well on your way to losing that stubborn menopause belly fat. Remember, it's not about extreme diets or over-exercising, but rather understanding your body's hormonal changes and working with them rather than against them. If this is something that you struggle with, go on and book a call with me. You can find the link in the description below. And be sure to watch the next video.